Shalom, Israel. It's Jeremiah Call. Before we start off, I want to give praises to the Father and the Son. Barak Yahweh, Barak Shah, Barak Yahweh, Barak Shah, Barak Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Yahweh is who the people ignorantly call God, and Yahushua is who the people ignorantly call Jesus. You so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans are the Hebrew Israelites. Today we're gonna be getting to the news. Just updating y'all with some articles that are recent, and some precepts that go along with the articles and what we're gonna be reading. It says Russia says it has the right to use weapons against military facilities in countries that allow weapons to be used against its facilities. So basically, they're saying that they have the right to strike the countries that are helping Ukraine. So he's saying they have the right to target the U.S. because they're giving Ukraine missiles and weapons to shoot at it. They're basically saying they have the right to target anybody who is helping Ukraine because they are sending Ukraine missiles and weapons to shoot at Russia.
Use our weapons against military facilities of those countries who allow the use of weapons against our facilities. We've warned you about this, but you've made your choice.
They continuously war. The world is painting the picture like Russia is the aggressor. But if you really know what's going on, the West installed a puppet government in Ukraine to bring this war, to Russia. If you look at who Zelensky was before he was a president of Ukraine, he was a gay porn star actor, dancing on stages and stuff, man. So he's a fucking clown. But they are using him as an actor, man, to portray a mighty president where he's a pussy, man. Then we have another article. Russia President Putin orders Satan 2 missiles to be ready as soon as possible as Kremlin warns insane idea of arming Ukraine with nukes would push world to brink of catastrophe. Like the video we posted the other day, these nukes will be used, regardless of these heathens, they think that they can avoid nuclear weapons being shot off. Well, you can't avoid it because it has to happen. And also, Biden, he said they are contemplating about giving Ukraine their nukes back. If you know the history between Russia and Ukraine, Ukraine used to be part of the USSR, which was the Soviet Union, but they left the Soviet Union in the 90s. And when they left the Soviet Union in the 90s, they aligned themselves with the US and the West. And the US said in order for you to be under our umbrella and for us to protect you and stuff like that, you have to give us your nukes. So Ukraine gave the US its nukes in order to be part in order to be with the US. So now Biden is contemplating giving Ukraine their nukes back. So hey man, we are definitely in these end times, man. This third woe is escalating. You hear about Russia making nuclear threats almost every day now, man. Soon It ain't gonna be threats no more. It's gonna be actions, man. Because we know that it's prophecy, Gog Magog, which is Russia, to war against America, aka Babylon the Great. We have another article. Russian Slovakia. U.S. President Biden's administration asked Ukraine to reduce its military draft age to 18 years old. Because, they've been dropping bodies in Ukraine, man. They got older men in their 40s fighting. I saw this thing the other day. It was like the average age of the Ukrainian soldier is like in their 40s, man. They sent all the young men to die, man. And Ukraine has a lot of widows. And I seen a video the other day of them loading up 16 like teenagers, look like they like around like 15, 16-year olds on buses to go fight in the war. So it shows how high the casualty count is if you're rounding up teenagers now. And also I saw another video of uh some women Ukrainian soldiers got captured. So if you are having to use women to fight in your war, it shows how much they are losing in the casualties. Now we know Russia is losing casualties also. So it's a lot of bodies being dropped on both sides. And also the mercenaries from various countries around the world that have traveled to fight in the wars on both sides. Another article, Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov warns that Russia's patience with Ukraine and NATO is nearing its limit. Hey man, Russia is about to get fed up. You see the other day they launched that missile that it was a ICBM, and that ICBM that they launched could have easily turned into a nuke. That's all they gotta do is attach a nuclear payload to it to make it a nuclear weapon. And that weapon can hit anywhere in the world. And the current and the US and NATO's missile defense system can't knock that weapon down. They can't shoot it down, man. So, Babylon the Great and his allies is playing with fire. But, eventually the missiles gonna get shot off, man. And hit where they supposed to hit it. Whether it be in Europe, Asia, or US, those missiles are gonna go where they supposed to go. We have a couple more. Well, one more before we hit the precepts that we have. It says UK and France in talks to deploy troops to Ukraine and fears of US withdrawing support. Because Trump about to get in office come January, and he was talking about withdrawing support from Ukraine and trying to end that war. And now you got the UK and France saying that in talks of saying if the US draw support, then they gonna put troops on the ground. So hey man, this third war is escalating and it could get out of control very, very fast. We're literally one event. That's all it takes is one event. And the world could change forever. Literally one event. one button to be pressed, you know? So, it's clear that we at the end of this thing, and that, destruction and war is here and on the horizon. Now we got some precepts. This is second Esdras 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Woe means destruction. Destruction again is on the horizon of this world, and not just one part of the world, but the whole world, man. These plagues are not just constrained and restricted to one country, one region. These plagues is wreaking havoc all around the world, whether it be war, whether it be sickness, whether it be bad storms, whether it be volcanoes. These plagues are not slack. 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. And we're seeing one people fight against another in all these different wars. Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, Israel, Lebanon. All the wars is happening in Syria. But also, it's talking about civil war too, as is military wars are going on, but there also will be civil wars, man. Sedition among men. Anarchy. So civil war is going to be a reality, really soon. And we have a couple more verses. I know this is talking about the military draft. Just like in that article we saw, it says that Biden was telling Ukraine President Zelensky to lower Ukraine's military draft age. Right now is military drafts are going on in Ukraine. Very, very soon, military draft is going to be here in the U.S., man, and various other places. It says the virgin shall mourn having no bridegrooms. The woman shall mourn having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. Verse 34. In the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed. And husbands and sons are being destroyed right now in the Russia Ukraine war. It's a lot of widows in Ukraine. Sons and bridegrooms are being destroyed in the Israel versus Gaza war. Sons and husbands are being destroyed in Israel, Lebanon. You know? But this is going to increase, more. There's going to be various countries are going to implement military draft. And the U.S. Babylon is one of them. But also, women will be fighting these wars too and getting destroyed. We already seeing it in Ukraine. It says, and their husbands shall perish of famine. The more chaotic and destructive these plagues get, the more famine is going to increase. And people, it's already people perishing of famine around the world, but it's going to increase on a more global and a more higher scale. People are literally going to be perishing of famine. And these are times that, we are in, man. We are here in this earth in these last days, which we are very in, you know? And we know that all hell has to break loose and it will. You know, like the scriptures say, the plagues are not slack. These plagues are serious, and, very catastrophic and deadly. And they only will increase, man. So with that, hope this lesson was edifying through spirit and power. Yahweh Shimi Shah. All praises unto Yahweh Shimi Shah. Until next time, Shalom, Yashallah.